The 2021 REVOLT Summit, presented by AT&T, is a hip-hop homecoming, a celebration of hip-hop, a celebration of Atlanta, a celebration of revolt. This year, we put the culture on a pedestal because we owe it all to hip-hop. From the onset of hip-hop, Black men have told us they've been close to the edge. Generations later, new acts are still experiencing the same cycles of police brutality and institutionalism. But progress has been made. Join the conversation as today's MCs tap into the themes of fatherhood, veganism, and social justice. Keep your head up. Black mental health.
Peace to the planet. I go by the name of Leonard McKelvey, commonly known to the world as Charlemagne the God. Salute to the ATL. I wish I could be there this weekend, but I couldn't. But I gotta salute all these brothers on stage that are having a conversation that is near and dear to my heart, and that's a conversation about mental health, okay? The only way we're gonna ever eradicate any of the stigmas around mental health is to have conversations about it. And you know, you gotta deal with your trauma. If you don't deal with your trauma will eventually deal with you. I started going on my healing journey in like 2016. That's when I started to go to therapy. I started to go to therapy to get a grasp on panic attacks that I've been having my whole life. I started going to therapy to deal with bouts of depression that I've been having my whole life. And when you're in therapy and you start peeling back those layers, man, you start peeling back those layers, you start realizing that you got all kind of trauma that you haven't dealt with. And like I always say, if you don't deal with your trauma will eventually deal with you. You cannot run from yourself. I don't care how much money you get. I don't care how much you work out in the gym to get your body right. I don't care, what your position is in life, any of that. If you don't fix what's in here, and you don't fix what's in here, your head and your heart, your mental and emotional well-being, it's all for nothing, man. So I just want to tell everybody out there, man, I get all my power right now from God, Black women, and therapy, right? Those are the three things that absolutely positively have changed my life. Two of those things were always in my life, and that's God and Black women. Two of those things I absolutely positively definitely took for granted, so the reason I'm saying that is because it was God who kept me alive and kept me here, and it was Black women who encouraged me, to start going to therapy, whether it's my sister friends, my wife, everybody was like, they challenging me to do the work on myself, man, and it was the best decision that I ever made. So I'm challenging y'all brothers to go out there and do the work on yourself, because if you go out there and do the work on yourself and you start on your healing journey, then we can start showing up in the world as the fathers we need to be, the brothers we need to be, the husbands we need to be, the great friends that we need to be. And that's the moral of the story, man. We just need to be. You need to be here right now, listening to this conversation, listening to these brothers, talk about investing in their mental wealth. And we just all need to be doing the work on ourselves, man. So salute to everybody out there in the ATL. Peace to the REVOLT Summit. And always remember, invest in your mental wealth. Peace.
Right here? Just the hot. What's up, ATL? How y'all feeling? My name is Royce the 5'9". For those of you who don't know, I want to welcome you all today. This panel is called the Black Mental Health, and it's designed to have an emphasis on what it means to be a Black man in America today. So before we get started, I'd like to thank REVOLT for bringing it down to Atlanta once again. Yeah. Our guests today in this discussion include my man NLE Choppa, my boy Mozzie, two of my favorite young legends doing their thing out there today. I feel like it's very important for us to support each other. I feel like there's a stigma associated with therapy in our community. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm 9 years sober today. And I feel like I benefited so much just off therapy, It's something to be said about making it out of these environments and then actually being able to look back and see all of the different ways in which we're behind the 8 ball. And our inability to be able to communicate with each other, from our relationship with our women, our parents, and the list goes on and on. So without further ado, I want you to give a round of applause for our panelists. Come on up, fellas.
You will not be able to stay home, brother.
My dear brothers.
You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
Why don't y'all one at a time just give them a little bit of a background about yourselves. Starting with you, Chopper.
NLE Choppa, multi-platinum recording artist, herbalist, father. Goes down and goes further than that. So, yeah.
So I'm about it. Mozzie, Northern California. Let me know something there. Nah, you know, I've been at it for a minute, and, you know, I'm just happy to be here. Shout out to Revolt Squadron.
Definitely. Okay, so I want to read this question to you guys, and I want you to just tell me what it makes you think, the first thing that comes to your mind. So research suggests that the adult black community is 20% more likely to experience serious mental health problems. How do you guys, as members of the black community and as public figures, make sure that you aren't part of the 20%? And if you are, how do you address whatever mental health concerns that you may have, whether it be therapy, meditation, yoga, etc., exercise? How do you address it? Starting with you, Chop.
Well, I feel like meditation is one of the most important things, and it played a big role in my life. It was a point in my life to where I was depressed, anxiety was heavy. I even tried, you know what I'm saying, suicide before. It was at that point. And I feel like meditation is a lost art because I feel like just as if, you know what I'm saying, we go to sleep, we fall asleep, right? I feel like the balance of it, the alternative of sleep, the opposite of it is meditation because it's a resting state. And I just feel like it's a lost art. A lot of people don't know that your breath is life, you know what I'm saying? You can go days without eating, but you don't know nobody that can go days without breathing. So the way you control your breath, the way you know what I'm saying, the more oxygen that gets inside of the body, it goes down to things like that, on how oxygen actually kills certain cells in the body, you know what I'm saying, that give you cancerous type states, that give you, that make your mindset think a certain way. So I just feel like, man, I can go on. I don't want to be talk too long about it. But
take your time. Take your time. You in therapy currently?
I never went to therapy. I just feel like just putting that self-love into you and just taking that time out today and just, you know what I'm saying, breathe. That's all it is to it. That's why certain times where people, you know, some therapists say, when you get mad, just take a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? That's just the base, the small origin of getting to meditation. When you, I don't know, this go kind of.
Absolutely. What about you, Mozzie?
Coming from where I'm from, you know, Granny our therapist. So, you know,
You say Granny?
Granny, most definitely. That's who you talk to. That's who you vibe with. You get in trouble with the law, you calling home. You feel me? You get shot or something, Granny gonna pull up. She, you know, it's that home base. So I recently lost her to cancer. So, you know, it's been spicy for me, but this music, hip hop, it's always been therapeutic for me. Just to be able to write, recite, and then relive it. And then, you know, the fans, when they pull up on you and they let you know what you mean to them and what your music mean to them and how it got them through, whether it's a prison bid or a death, you know what I'm saying, within their family, or, you know, I think it's just a combination of a lot of things. I visit the dead homies' moms. I go take their kids to Disneyland, function with them, lock in with them, and that's therapeutic in a sense. So I just think it's a collective things, but that's a few of the things that, you know, I utilize.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how therapeutic it is to be able to express ourselves through the art. I think sometimes as fans, all of us, we do this. We think that every artist is like in a race to the top of the charts. And this is just like one big numbers race. But for a lot of us, we're learning ourselves through the art, like we're evolving through the art form. So there's a lot of things that I expressed in my music. I did a self-identifying album where I spoke about a lot of things from my past. I spoke about my relationship with my father, and it was just like one long therapy session. And I felt like if I didn't get that out, you know, then it would just be like a weight on my shoulders. You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations where it was like the little boy inside of me was needing to evolve and heal in order for the grown man to evolve and heal and allow myself to love myself so then I can start to love others, my wife, you know what I mean? Because we come into this business and we just searching. We're just searching for that thing, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to live up to all of the social constructs and all of the souped up tough guy shit, and you know what I mean? So by the time we finally find ourselves, we may have blown major opportunities, you know what I mean? So I just think therapy and just self-healing just correlates in that way. Well, how you feel about therapy? What's your thoughts on it?
I feel like...
Have you ever been?
Nah, yeah, I've been there. I tried it. I got an album called Untreated Trauma. I recently just dropped. And once more, therapeutic. And you know, we come from a stitch lip society where it ain't socially acceptable to talk or just to talk to a therapist or about it. It's like, you know, like you said, you gotta be macho. You a fella, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people depending on you, etc. So, you know, you gotta be the big dog and, you know, it's once more, it ain't socially acceptable. So we look down on it. But I think it's more than a necessity. I think it's mandated. Just like health is wealth, mental health is wealth. And, you know, so I holler at my young and make sure they legitimate mentally. And anytime I get an opportunity to express myself, like I said, you don't talk to the police. This is how we raised. You don't talk to the police. Moms told you don't be talking out anything that happened in this house, stay in this house. You hear me? And so it'd be like now we pulling up on a stranger and, you know, airing out our dirty laundry. I think I ain't feeling that. And, you know, we look down upon that. But I think, like you said, as we grow as men, we get a sense that, you know, it's same way you break a leg and you go seek assistance, same thing mentally. If you're going through something emotionally, you need to seek assistance. Make sure your mentality righteous. So, yeah, I believe in therapy, and I think we should press the issue more, use our platform to press the issue on the youth.
Absolutely. Y'all can give him a hand for that. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's definitely something that needs to be addressed from our platforms and people with influence over the youth, definitely. Police brutality, among other social issues, directly impacts the black community. How are you all affected by the happenings of 2020 in particular, which were obviously exacerbated by the global pandemic? How were you affected by, you know, Ahmaud Arbery? I mean, the list goes on and on. Just everything that kind of like hit us like a shitstorm. Because, you know, we were all kind of like, we were all hyper-focused on our computer. You know, like the whole pandemic kind of shut everything down, so we were forced to look at it in real time.
For real.
So these are things that they've been going on, but now we're forced to kind of look at it. It's forcing everybody to look at our truth, look at the world's truth. And I'm definitely affected by it. You know what I mean? I'm super distracted. I don't think I've made a lot of music the last couple of years. I just feel like the world is just messed up, man. What's your thoughts?
I just feel like during that time period, it was surreal because how I felt internally, it was like, it was getting too comfortable with doing it, with it happening. It was happening so much. Like, I remember, like, I was in, like I said, I was in Circle Penthouse around that time when that stuff was happening. And it was just happening repeatedly. Like, every week, it was a different, you know what I'm saying, cop killing it. They was getting comfortable with it because I feel like it was no justice being served. Nobody was going to jail, really. They was getting let off. And if they did go to jail, it was like a few months. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing that the judge would give us, you know what I'm saying? So, and what was even crazier was, I remember like the protests and the riot and stuff, and I was there in LA when it was happening. And it just felt like something that happened already. It looked very similar to, what was the riot? I believe it's the riot, yeah, the Rodney King riot.
In Cali?
Yeah, it's just without the fire and stuff, I feel like. But people, it was that serious. It was just crazy. It was surreal for me.
I mean, what was the last straw for you guys where you felt like, okay, now it's time for me to actually speak out on this? Because, you know, that's not like a normal occurrence in our culture.
It's not, but it is. Like, you know, I got
It should be, right?
Yeah, to speak out. But my uncle, he was shot by the police officer, and my grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother, so I talk about her a lot. But you know, he was gunned down by a police officer, so she already had a natural hate for the force. Growing up, we used to beat up. She used to buy little police cars, you know, the ones you get, you know what I'm saying? And she'd have a hammer, and we used to bang them, you feel me? And she used to tell me early on, you a target. I never understood. It never registered. I'm a target. At 10 years old, she telling me, like, you a target. And, you know, 16, 17 years old, I start understanding it. But I think the internet, you know, the social media, it just intensified. It intensified because we already been seeing this going on. Whether you've been through the system or not, you see how they treat us, how they body slam us on our foreheads, how people die within the system. You hear about, you know, Young Life getting killed. He jumped the fence. He stole a car, ended up jumping the fence. The police shot. He was unarmed, whether he had a phone on him or whatever the case. But we see it a lot in our community. But to see how we came together, Black Lives Matter, etc., all the little movements, the way we marched for it, that was dope. That was dope. It got its pros and its cons, but I think the pros, if we focus on the pros more, you know, we'll get more out of it. I think that was dope. It was I don't know, I just really enjoyed the marches and seeing everybody come together for one, you know, for one cause.
Solidarity.
For sure.
That was the closest that we came to solidarity, because that's like,
Sure.
that's the one muscle that we haven't flexed yet. That's the one thing that we haven't tried, just unity, solidarity, for a long enough period of time. NLE Choppa, what was the turning point for you musically? Because your music, the content of your music just took like a shift. What prompted that, and when was that?
What prompted it? It was around last year, like August, and like I said, I was in the worst mindset. I was like really in the worst mindset that I ever been there, and I realized you would think like you would be in that mindset before you get everything you want. But I had everything I wanted, but I ain't have nothing I needed. So with that being said, it was just I was surrounding myself around the wrong people. I was putting the wrong things on my body, you know what I'm saying? And that played a huge part in how I was feeling before I made the turning point. And like I said, it was just this one day, and I started praying. And I remember it was this prayer I said before I blew up. I told God, I was like, Heavenly Father, I know the music industry ain't, you know what I'm saying, the most divine or the most holy thing, but I said, bless me to get in this position to where I could change other people's life and be a light instead of darkness, you know? And it was like a few weeks after that prayer, I started to get signs, and just like to where I knew I was gonna blow up, because I genuinely, and I meant it, like to the soul, I meant it. And I ended up blowing up, and then I got introduced to so much that I lost that prayer. I lost track of that prayer. I got heavy on drugs. I was heavy on people I was around, sex, money, jewelry, all that stuff. And that's the stuff that you want, but it wasn't nothing I needed. And it felt like it was cool, it was good, and then when stuff just started to get taken away from me, and then stuff started to happen.
All of that stuff gets promoted to us.
Yeah.
You know, we think we want to be rich, we think we want to be famous, but fame ain't for everybody, bro.
For sure.
Fame is not for everybody. That's one of those things is you think you want that until you get it, because you think it's part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But what I learned is that we here to achieve happiness.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like we're here not to pass down our trauma to our babies. Like, what good is passing them down a bunch of money if we just passing them down all of that toxic trauma and all of that with it? Like, have you always been religious? You seem are you religious? Are you?
Honestly, I'm not religious.
You come from a religious family?
My grandmother, she's very religious. I'm not really religious, but I believe in a God, because like I said, for every creation, it's a creator. You know what I'm saying? If we go out here and I make a new cell phone today, I'm the creator of it. So I feel like, in a sense, I'm a God. I'm a baby G to the biggest G. But I'm saying the same way this world is, these planets, you got stars, you got the sun, you got the moon. You know, there's no way you could say that this creation is here without a creator. So that's how I look at life. And I'm real strong on prayer, more so than like going to church or doing this. Like I got a real strong faith. Cause like certain things, it's just, if it don't feel right with me, I don't do it. But if it feel right, I do it. And that's what feel right with me, you know?
We kicked things off this year with the winning teams of Ally's Mogul in the Making program, who came together in Atlanta to show how they embraced Ally's principles of community, collaboration, and customer commitment to forge their path forward as they present what's next for their burgeoning enterprises. Moguls in the Making by Ally.
They got the I just made some money look, you know? Even when I said Aggie Pride, they looked like they didn't want to participate. Aggie Pride is how we talk now that we have $20,000 in our account. Congratulations to all of you. And again, thank you so much to our friends at Ally. You guys are doing incredible work in the community. The Thurgood Marshall College Funds is an organization I've been a part of for a long time, and I'm the national ambassador, and you guys keep doing incredible work. And to the Sean Anderson Foundation for putting this on. Gia, how exciting is this? This is awesome.
I just think it's so beautiful to see young people who are already focused and already getting the opportunity to pitch in front of investors. Like when I was 20, I wasn't pitching in front of investors, we'll say that. But you guys are on such a great path already. And so I wanted to ask you all, how did this opportunity fall into your lap? Tell me a little bit about how you all got to this moment right now.
Yeah, so I'll say for me, I've been doing different programs with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund for a while now. Just been following them on, their different social media sites. And when I saw this opportunity come about, I was like, this is something that I have to hop on.
Yeah, for me, first time I heard about Moguls in the Making, it was about 2 years before I actually participated, but as soon as I heard word about it, I was just like, that's something I gotta do. I gotta do it, and blessed to be a part of it.
What you think?
I thought college.
Oh, we're going back, yeah.
So I first found out about it in 2019, but I was a freshman. They did not accept freshmen, so I waited. My mentor, Mr. Coffey from the Midnight Golf Program in Detroit, he told me to apply this year, and I did, and I'm glad that I did. And yes, it was successful.
For me, I didn't really know much about it, because like I said, I'm a sophomore, so I started just, applying for scholarship programs and just more career development. And I did a couple programs before, and I thought, oh, maybe just do another competition. And then I saw it was a flagship competition. I was like, why not? So I did. I decided to apply, and now look at this.
For me, it was a good friend of mine. He actually participated in the Moguls 1.0 the first year, and he introduced me to it, and I saw the growth in him, the personal development and professional development, and I wanted more for myself, so that's why I decided to apply, and I'm grateful for it.
I love hearing those stories. When you see programs like this, especially with a big company like Ally, sometimes it makes you nervous, right? You might be a student, you might say, I don't want the rejection. I don't want to participate in this, go out for this program and then not get it. When you're overcoming those types of fears, and again, there are a lot of fears sometimes associated with going after internship programs, scholarship programs, job opportunities. Let's talk about some of those first steps. How do you just go out and sign up to do it? Because a lot of people out there might be nervous to do things. What are some of the things that get you over that hump?
For me, I don't really get nervous. The worst that they can do is say no. So all you have to do is apply. If they say yes, they say yes. If they say no, they say no. And if they say no, there's always another program you can do.
And for me, it was just all about patience, man. One thing about success is that it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come just out of nowhere. You have to be patient for it, and you have to be resilient. One thing that I've learned over my career as a student and as a career, well, with my career as an engineer, is that nothing has come to me just instantly. But all of the good things in my life have come from me just constantly going at it and not giving up.
To anyone that is scared to take that first step, what I did was just to remember who I'm doing it for. And that just gives me the motivation, also who I am and whose I am. So I was put on this earth to do something.
Come on, you better preach here today.
I was put on this earth to do something. I could have been dead, you know, anybody could have. So I just think every day I wake up, I gotta go get it.
I would say for me, so Moguls in the Making was my third pitch competition. So each time was a different progression. The first time I did a pitch competition, didn't place at all. The second time, third place. And now the third time we came out in first. So I would say that, you know, even if you've never done something like this before, I would definitely just, you know, give it your best shot so that you can progress every time.
Yeah, for me, this was actually my first pitch competition since high school. And I was always taught to not get comfortable and to get out your comfort zone, and that's the only way that you can see true growth. So there was just me getting out of my comfort zone and taking that leap of faith.
That's so awesome. You guys are already so perfect to be leaders, and I can't wait to see the Fortune 500 companies y'all run, or your own companies that become Fortune 500s, okay? But I do want to ask you a little bit about like the details of the pitch competition, the process. Tell me what you guys actually had to go through. What were the different levels? Like the competition we can see from the video was very real. So tell me a little bit about the process of the competition for the Moguls in the Making 3.0.
Yeah, I can speak on that. So at the beginning of the competition, we all got a different industry. Our team, we got the energy industry. So we had to find a way to innovate the energy industry to make it so that the community of West Charlotte can experience more generational wealth. And when we first got that, we were like, oh man, energy, how do we innovate energy? It was very hard. And if you were there the first night that we were there, it was just constant brainstorming. We were going at it. And after the first night, you know, you're never gonna have the whole answer together off rip. So just constantly coming back the next morning and the next morning, just trying to get things together, trying to come up with ideas. That's really what it's all about.
And they lucky I wasn't on the team when it said we're in the energy industry, because I would have had it all wrong. I would have said, well, you got to get a good night's sleep.
Come on.
Maybe drink some Red Bull. I would have thought it was a completely different type of energy. So you just be grateful I wasn't there. Be very grateful that I wasn't on this team. Tell me more about when you got this assignment, guys. And you can tell they're barely a team because they don't know who's going next. Every time they switch up the order, passing around the mic. You guys got to start giving each other eye contact or something.
Well,
okay?
relating,
Tap each
Hard
other.
to see, you know.
well, relating to that, you know, we just got randomly chosen. So none of us knew each other when we started. So we talked a little bit here and there leading up to the competition, but, you know, really the first day is when we all really got to meet. And I really like that experience because I feel like, you know, there's just no walls, no like perspective. You just don't know. It's just a clean slate. So when ideating, it was just really easy to just like bounce off of people's ideas because you don't know them and you don't know where they're coming from. And along with that, once we solidified an idea of what we wanted to do, we talked to like mentors or people who actually work in the industry. So it was like really cool to be talking to those people who actually work in the industry that you think you know about and who actually work in it. So be able to just come up with a solid idea that could actually be working within that industry.
I love that. Thank you. All right.
Final words, Gia.
I can't believe that this is it. I've had such a great time this morning. I found a new business to support. I've met 5 incredible young people who are going to change this world. Thank you so much for your gifts. I'm so excited to like follow y'all. Y'all gonna have to tell me all your Instagrams again, okay? So congratulations on everything. And I've been here with Terrence J, so I'm fine. I had a great day already.
G, I'm a big fan of yours, so this has been incredible hosting this with you. We want to thank Ally for their incredible work that they've been doing. Thank you. To the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, thank you so much. We want to thank AT&T, and we want to thank Revolt for putting this conference together. Listen, you know, every day is a blessing. Every day we have breath in our lungs is a blessing. I'm so happy to be here with you guys right now.
So happy you're here.
You guys won something that's very special. There's some incredible HBCU students across the country that participated in this program with you. When you have an opportunity like this, take it and run with it. It doesn't matter how many times you get told no. All you need is one yes. This is one of those yeses. Take the energy from this and run with it. Thank you all so much for participating in this program, and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Blessings, blessings.
Moguls in the Making, presented by Ally, a business pitch competition where 50 HBCU students work to solve issues facing the Black community.
Ally is a company that's deeply focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
This year, the students are developing business ideas that promote economic mobility in the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. Tune in as none other than the one and only multi-hyphenate Gunna talks one-on-one with Ryan Wilson, CEO of The Gathering Spot, for a discussion on the Atlanta rapper's career evolution from upstart to streaming giant to local philanthropist. Atlanta's very own Gunna, gunning for the city.
I am Ryan Wilson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of The Gathering Spot, TGS. The Gathering Spot is a private membership club located here in Atlanta. We have been here for about 6 years, and my job is connected to connecting people. So one of those connections that has been really special to us over the years has been with the family at Revolt. So I'm glad to be back. This is amazing, y'all. Like what's been built here is incredible. So I'm excited to have this conversation. I'm going to be speaking with somebody that y'all already know, somebody that's from here, an artist. We're going to talk about his philanthropic efforts. We'll get into some fashion and, of course, talk about some music. It is my pleasure to, again, welcome one of the city's finest, Gunna, to the stage. Brother, what's up?
How you doing? What's up? What's going on?
So, for everybody that doesn't know, where are you from? Talk to us about home.
Well, for everyone who don't know, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. It's strictly from the south of Atlanta, you know, old National Flat shows. I grew up over there most like my whole life. And man, it was good growing up. I learned a lot. Like that's where a lot of my style came from and everything. Like my growth came from the south side of Atlanta.
So, got some shout outs for the south side. And so one of the things, I think Atlanta is one of the most special cities in the country, if not in the world. Talk to us about what's special about the city. Like, if you look at your childhood and even now, what's special about Atlanta?
Man, Atlanta is everything to me because I feel like as a whole, Atlanta is like one of the cities that's really known for like just coming up with everything, lingo, style to clothes to even music. Now, like we got a big impact on music. I feel like a lot of young black brothers, everybody, like we winning on music right now in Atlanta. And that one thing like alone I feel like that we all coming together just making the world better just cause we started a whole new lead of people that just like doing music and selling clothes and building off merch and people just learning about stocks now that we ever thought we couldn't do, you know?
I think one of the special things too is the community that's here, right? People, we build, we collaborate. So you are well known for your relationships with a whole bunch of artists from Atlanta, from
right.
Usher to Baby to, I mean, we've seen Thug, we've seen you with everybody.
Right, Future, a lot of just, and I feel like that too, like shout out to Baby, shout out to Thug, shout out to Future, shout out to Savage, a lot of artists that from Atlanta that done helped me grow and grew with me also. I just came from just us doing it though, and I think like we really showing like the younger youth, the generation, that's how you need to do it.
But for the artists that are in the crowd here today, how did you start those relationships, right? Because we see where they are now, but right, if we use Thug for an example, How did you start that connection?
I got introduced to him from an older friend of mine that I had grew up with. His name Troop. God bless the dead. He died, but he introduced me to Thug, and we was more just homies, just, you know what I'm saying, growing up first. But he didn't even, it wasn't on no rap. Like, we was just homies. And then eventually, I kind of like let him know that I did music because I was rapping before I even met him. And it just came together, you know what I'm saying, with the introduction of Troop.
What advice, though, would you give for an artist that, same position, they're making music right now, they're trying to figure out how to get that music in the right hands? What do they need to do to try to make sure that they get to the spot that you got to?
I would tell you to keep striving, keep working. Like, it's not gonna happen overnight. And even if it do, just keep working and strive. There's always levels that you can keep going. I don't feel like I reached a point where I can chill. I feel like it's still more doors to open. And even like with people around me, like I can put them in different, better positions now, you know? So I would just tell them, you know, just keep working and just always look for good feedback. Any feedback, take from that and just keep grinding.
I was gonna ask you later about work, but we're here now. So talk to us about that, like just the work ethic that's necessary in order to be successful, right? I mean, again, I don't know if folks really understand just how much time it takes to just perfect your craft, to keep getting better. So if you look, like, when did you start rapping? Let's maybe start there.
I was 13 years old when I started rapping. 13. My mom always told me, like, you know, I support you with rap, but hey, something else to fall back on. But I fell back on rap. Like, I always wanted to rap. And I'm 28 today, you know what I mean? I maybe took off when I was 23, 24. So that's what I mean, like, even when I was 13, I wasn't getting all the feedback or thinking that I was gonna make it, but any feedback kept me going, keep striving, keep going, and eventually you're gonna get what you want.
What does that look like on a day-to-day basis, right? So like, if you just even look at time in the studio, how many records, before anybody knew your name, how much time were you spending just perfecting the craft?
Numerous amount of times. I still be in the studio every day. When I leave here later on tonight, I'm gonna go to the studio. Now, I put in overtime. So I feel like everyone else should, you know? And if you can't put in overtime, put in time.
So let's talk about some of your work in the community. You have, over the last several years for sure, been doing a lot of work. And so first, before we get to the individual things that you've done, why has that work been important to you? Why so much activity in the community so often? Where does that come from?
Well, it got a lot to do with like my community, like giving me what I use to grow, like my style and just all my ethnicities that I just gained, and I just give back now. Like I feel like me achieving and getting to a place where I could give back, I give back.
All right, so I saw a time where you went and paid the bail for a lot of folks to get out of jail. So like, where do those ideas come from? I mean, does it start with you? Is the team? I want to talk to you about your team in a minute, but like, how do you decide what type of work that you're going to do in the community?
Honestly, I don't decide, like just thinking, like it might just pop up, because that extra thing that we did was with my team. Like Thug was there with me to help me do that, you know? So it just be different times that it just might come in place where you feel like you can give back. Like when we have a pandemic hit, we don't know when it came, but when it came, I gave back. You know, I provided 500 families with gift cards, Walmart gift cards, just so they can get what they need at that time, but I didn't know that I was gonna do it.
A thing that I saw you do recently is with actually a very good friend of mine, Jasmine Crowe in Gooder. You went back to your middle school, McNair, and tell everybody what y'all did together.
Okay, so Jasmine Crowe, who he's talking about, that's the CEO of Gooder. That's a company who helps me give back, like, a lot. And one of the things that we did was we went to the school, my junior high school, McNair. I went there and I did a gonna drip closet for them. We put clothes in there. Foot Locker gave me shoes, and Gooder came and came with the grocery store, and we bought food for them. And now to this day, we provide 150 to 200 kids weekly. They can go in there and get food, clothes to this day right now. So shout out Jasmine Crow for helping me doing that, and I even got a day for that. The mayor gave me a day for that, you know what I'm saying? September the 18th, you know, so that was big.
Look, everybody, I think that deserves an extra round of applause. It's just, if you haven't seen it, I really encourage you, please go look online. It's amazing work, right? They really have taken over. I mean, it's a whole room in the school, right?
Right. Whole like store, like a whole grocery store and / clothing where you can just go get clothes and shoes.
And it's free all the time.
It's free.
Wow.
Free right now. 150 to 200 kids every weekly, and I'm proud of it.
You should be, man. It's really incredible work. Just to finish this. So, I mean, when you finally went and saw the final product, right? And you're talking to some of the students that are in your shoes, right? They're middle school students at the same place that you went to school. What's that like?
I'm a leader, you know what I'm saying? It's just the feeling that I feel when I get back. I'm just happy that I'm in position to do it.
All right, friends. Well, we're about to transition to some questions from the community here. I am really excited to answer your questions. There are a couple places I believe for you to be able to queue.
Hi, how y'all doing? I'm Lauren, I'm 22, and I really liked how you spoke on feeding back into the youth, and my question was, I flew all the way to Atlanta. I said I wasn't coming back without some type of opportunity, so I wanted to know if your team had any openings for any interns. I don't care what it is.
Shoot.
Let me tell you, don't nobody want it.
Definitely got
Don't nobody want it bad as I do. I'm from Cleveland. I've been working in all the clubs, networking, trying to get stuff together. I'm behind a lot of projects for All-Star Weekend. And the whole plane ride, I said, wanna. That's it. That's what we come in here for. Paid the fine, got me through my last year of college. So listen, anything y'all need, I need it. I don't care if I'm the assistant. I don't care if I'm carrying stuff. It's whatever.
I respect you so much, baby. I promise you we're going to put something together. We got to work together. I really respect you as a woman. I respect you as a black woman, man, stepping up and speaking word. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And I really feel like we got a place for you, 100%.
I think it's very important for everybody here. Shooters gotta shoot, right? You
just said no risk, no
Shooters
reward.
gotta shoot, man.
You gotta
shoot.
Like closed mouths don't get fed.
Hey, Gunna.
What's up? How you doing?
First of all, I want to shout out all of the risk takers who stood in the queue to come up here and ask you a question, because the pressure to come up here is no joke. But I'm born and bred in Atlanta, just like you, and I've always taken pride in the city of Atlanta, but I've always taken pride in the fact that we take initiative to fix issues that occur in our city. So during the pandemic, I'm a special effects artist. I make monsters for a living.
Come to the mic closer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm a special effects artist and I make monsters for a living. So during the pandemic, I decided to release an all Atlanta-inspired cosmetic line called the Big Beauty Lab. Just because being from Atlanta, I say Atlanta's a different planet all on its own.
Right.
So my question would be, when highlighting a city like Atlanta, what are some of the key elements and characteristics that you would want to capture?
What's the question one more time?
I apologize.
I want to make sure I hear you.
No doubt. When you are trying to represent your city, I guess, when you're trying to really be that representation of your city, what are some of the key elements and characteristics of Atlanta that you would want to capture?
Of us being so talented, like us from Atlanta, each one of us, we got talented, we got style as a whole. Like, that's one of the key things that I would take as a brand, and like me being from Atlanta and with whatever I'm promoting. Also, like the networking, like we really network. It's other peers. I'm sure you got friends that just got like their own buzz and their own style and they support it. I feel like a good amount of us from Atlanta support each other from time to time. So like I would capitalize on that. Like Atlanta, we support. Atlanta, we got style. Like those two things. Also, like Atlanta is wealthy. We got a lot of people that's grown from Atlanta, like, and made it, and like that shows a lot about our city too. Like, we really support and push people to the moon. So those three things.
Definitely. And one more thing, I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, y'all, but my palette is actually a Breeze card because I started taking the train all the way from the south side, going up to the north side at 4 in the morning to go work on movie sets. And I just want to say I really appreciate the influence that you have added to Atlanta. And I really hope that one day I can make a movie for you because I'm also a screenwriter. I write horror movies, and I've written several scripts surrounding the city of Atlanta.
I most definitely need a writer right now. I'm thinking about a movie. I most definitely need your information.
I can have you a script in 2 weeks.
Gino.
Gino,
gotta
please
shoot. Get this girl information.
Slatty. You dig. So we got a special guest also with us. I didn't know Thug was coming, you know, but he here, and he want to speak to a couple of y'all too also.
We have had a long conversation about a lot of stuff, the music. Right. We talked about all the work in the community, but we talked about how y'all first met too. Tell us your version of that story. How y'all get together?
I never heard his version either. It was one of the big homie troops. It was his father. His father passed away, right?
Yes, that was his father's funeral.
Yeah. We was and we just like linked up at the funeral. I already knew his best friend. You know what I'm saying? So we just linked up at the funeral and then kind of like locked in. It locked in then though. But like, I ain't know he was rapping at that point. I ain't know. You know what I'm saying?
When you find out that he had talent like that?
Man, about a year. He just sitting in the studio and shit. He never said nothing. Then like
That's
a year
why I said
later,
we were homies for about like a year, just homies, just hanging. He didn't even know.
I feel like the city, since we have this opportunity, we need to thank you publicly. There are so many people from this city that you have helped to build, work with, put on your albums. I mean, even recently, right, you introducing us to folks. How have you thought about doing that over the years? Why is that important for you to do?
man, I just like being a part of, you know, like legendary moments, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when I was like at that point, most people didn't like pay attention to me because I guess they just felt like I ain't had the answers, you know? So I tried not to like skip that, you know what I'm saying? So I just take heed in everybody who I run across. You know what I'm saying? If I listen to your music, the music good, it's dope. It's just like, yo, I'm with you, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna do whatever I can do to promote you, to try to turn you up, you know? Cause you never know, people, these young boys, they be having a plan.
It's so true. We talked about Atlanta too, and you've been a staple in the city for now a long little minute. What's special about Atlanta in your eyes?
The Southern hospitality, man. Just, it's black. It's just black as fuck. You know, it's like the youth kind of own everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The newer generation run everything. You know, just like, again, the hospitality. Everybody got hearts. Everybody love each other. Well, for the most part, most of everybody love each other. It ain't that many haters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely more real ones than haters in Atlanta, believe it.
I mean, we talked about this. We talked about how the collaboration, the community that exists down here is a real thing. I mean, people in other cities don't build like that. They don't go and get on other people's tracks, and producers don't work with one another. But that happens down here. I mean, where do you think the city is going long term? You think we'll continue? I mean, I asked the question, where are we going to be in 5 or 10 years? Same question. Where do you think Atlanta's going to be 5, 10 years from now?
Where New York always been. Atlanta, we like the new. We like. I don't see no other city kind of like taking over Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because we started having new artists come from Atlanta, bro, and we getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the biggest artists that's like popping right now are from Atlanta, you know?
Yeah, amen.
We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going higher and higher. I don't see no other city like gaining the #1 spot again. We got it. Atlanta for sure.
I clap to that. My last question, it was something that was important for us to talk about, was work in the community. You've been in the community too over the years, giving back. We've talked about his recent work with working in his old middle school, making sure folks have food and clothes for free. Why has that work been important for you to do too? Why give back in the way that you have over the years?
Because you just want to like spread that. You just want people, all the upcoming artists that's paying attention to you or paying attention to anybody that's paying attention to you, you want them to see that, you know what I'm saying? You want them to know like this is the right thing to do. And it's simple, you know, it's just, if it was me on the other shoe, I would want.
You want the same thing?
I would want to help.
Same energy?
Yeah.
Well, everybody, that was our last question. We appreciate y'all for everything that y'all do for Atlanta, for the culture. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for everybody being here today, for to Gunna, to Young Thug, to the legends of this city. We appreciate y'all sincerely. We'll see y'all next time.
Appreciate y'all.
Everybody be well.
Coming up, Slim Thug chats with minority jewelers and grill designers like Grills by Scotty, Golds by Helen, Zeta Jeweler, and none other than the ruler, Slick Rick, on why more people should invest in the jewelry space. Get your shine on. Sponsored by P&G Crest.
There are a lot of vanguard leaders that have come out of the collaboration with Dreamin' Black and more to come. So I'm excited to see what will happen in the future. Again, enjoy yourself. And I think I'm introducing Slim Thug. Hey, where is my son? It's my son when I need him. I am well. Thanks, guys.
What up with it, world? What's good with it, man? It's your boy Slim Thugger. You already know that, but I'm hosting, you know what I'm saying, the conversation of black jewelers and custom grill makers, you know what I'm saying? It's a panel about business and entrepreneurship, but it's also about cultural recognition, and it's a time to talk. Let's have one, man. Let's get the, before we get started though, let me thank Revolt and the Summit for returning to Atlanta this year, and I also want to thank AT&T for supporting this experience. I also want to note that these questions are what fans are asking, not my personal beliefs, okay? So now on to today's guests. First, we got, who we got? Goes by Helen coming up stage. Let's get it. Give it up for Goes by Helen.
Slim Thugger.
Hey. All right, next we got Zeta Jeweler. Turn up. All right. Come on up here, Grills by Scotty. My boy. Flash your grill one time. Let me show, yeah, bro, show them what you're working with, kid. Yes, sir. Yeah, I see a grill. His grill says Revolt Summit, by the way, for the people out there who can't see, man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, appreciate y'all coming and joining us for this panel. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be able to sit down and chop it up with y'all for right now. So I guess we'll get straight into the first question, right? So like fly jewelry, it's been a part of the hip hop culture for a minute. I mean, like fly gear, jewelry has been a part of the hip hop culture for a minute. But the ice on our favorite artists today, it has evolved. What some items, designs, and trends that are popular in the culture today has changed from has been a long way. So I need y'all to give me some different ways that the jewelry has changed and, you know, grew over the years. I remember back in the day, we used to wear the chains all the way to our, you know, the long chain. Now we got the chokers. So, you know what I'm saying? How has the jewelry game changed over the years? I want to ask all y'all that. Come on, Helen.
I would say that people looking for status symbols don't necessarily need diamonds right now. They want good craftsmanship. They want things that are very rare, one of one. They want to use really nice materials that aren't the ones that register, maybe with most as expensive. And I think that's sort of my niche. The gemstone thing has really been, it didn't come from me. The consumers wanted it.
Yeah, that's a different way of doing the grills. The gemstones, you know, you usually have the diamonds or the solids, you do the gemstone. That's more like that. So what you think, G? What's the changes they had in the jewelry game since back in the day to now?
Yeah, so first of all, Z the jeweler. I'm from Status. Thanks Revolt for having me. Thanks AT&T for having me.
Yeah.
Apart from that, to answer your question, I feel like the transition has been, since getting more detailed, this generation is being very creative and is focusing on a lot of creative details and adding to the pieces. So it's all about also branding your own self at the same time as well.
All right. What's up with it, Scotty?
I think that it's changed for me. So I specialize in gold grills.
All right.
All right. So starting out, when I remember gold grills coming up, they was like real simple. You feel me? Like you had like a few different designs, you know, but now you got different cut styles. You feel me? You can get perm cuts, you can get deep cut, you can get the slud cut, you can get the regular style grill. And I also feel like the people that's buying the jewelry have changed too. You know, whereas before coming up, like, so I'm a fan of Johnny Dane.
Right.
You from Houston, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it was at one point only certain people could buy grills. If you had 30, 40,000, 20,000, you could buy a grill. Now, you walk down the street, everybody got a grill. You know what I'm saying? Just the average person working, you know what I'm saying, the everyday job, they got a grill too.
Exactly. Well, when I was coming up, it was like in Houston, it was about, you know, the permanence at first. It started with the, you know, we had the open faces, and then we had the, you know, the solid gold slugs. We might, you know, carve our name into them. And then it went to the Popeye grills, you know what I'm saying, where they do the Popeyes. And we got real crazy with the diamonds back in the day. And that's really pretty much was TV Johnny niche and how he blew up with Paul Wall. You know, when we came out with Still Tipping, we kind of like took that worldwide, you know what I'm saying? So that was real big in Houston culture in the jewelry game. But, you know, outside of that, man, who was a couple artists y'all have worked with? Let's tell the people that. Like, who was some different artists you did work for?
I say Big Sean's name because people have seen him in it, but my business model is very different than most urban jewelers. It's very discreet. So if they haven't said they're my client, I don't say they're my client.
Okay. All right. Who's some different people you work with?
I mean, there are a bunch of artists. There are a lot of people we've been working with, being in Status. If you just want to name them, we have Moneybag. We have a QC artist, Bankroll Ferdy. We're working with Chris Brown right now as well. There's a lot of different artists, just to name them. Yeah. But I feel like the real recognition we got is through being around different locations. I feel like when you have different locations, the word around that part of the town spreads out as well.
Right. What about you, boss?
Some of the people that I work with, artists, Issa Rae was one that I did. I flew to France to deliver her grill for her wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, like super crazy story, whatever. But I did Issa grill for her wedding. I did her grill when she went to the Emmys. T.I.'s grill. A lot of folks, Yandro, Jesse Williams, Tory Lanez.
You got a whole roster. Is that, as a jeweler, is that like y'all marketing plan, basically? You know, like,
It's supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not. It works. It works. But I have a tendency to say maybe more than people want to hear, but I'm a jeweler in New York City, and I work out of the Diamond District.
Okay.
Some people know what that means. It's not especially diverse. The majority of people who sell things like what I sell they sell them to people who are like me. And as a seller, it's very awkward. I get a lot of pushback in the Diamond District for trying to have the audacity to do what they do. And a big part of their business model is displaying and parading wealthier, mostly black people in their products to inspire people who have much less to buy the same things. And I don't run my business that way.
Exactly. I was going to ask you too, being a black woman in the jewelry business, how hard is that?
They hate me. They hate me. They hated me. I ended up in jewelry because I worked in tech. And when I worked in tech, I worked in white collar tech. I wasn't at a startup with hoodies. I did that too, and they hated me there and I had to go. So I stopped doing that and I did nightlife. And my thing was Southern hip hop. That's how I made my living, playing that before people wanted to hear it. Then I went into tech so that I could make a decent living, and I moved quick, and I worked with all white men who want to make $250K for doing nothing. And they didn't want me there, even though I was willing to work for my job, and I fell into jewelry, and they hate me more.
Okay, all right, how about, so I got another question. How did you get into...
White people. 2 white women were trying to use me as the face of their business. And then when I got in there, I was ready to work. And they were like, you gotta go. And I was already in, so I did my thing.
To download us on all things Securing the Bag, we hear from Rashad Belisle and Troy Millings of the eponymous Earn Your Leisure podcast, who lead a finance panel with Chance the Rapper to discuss the importance of wealth building, access to capital, and the establishment of generational wealth. Earn Your Leisure live.
Right now, we're going to bring some people up to the stage who are going to lead us in a conversation that I wish that I had years and years ago. With another superstar. So this is gonna be a really, really healthy conversation. I need you all to make as much noise as you possibly can. Put your hands together, open up your hearts and your ears for Earn Your Leisure and Chance the Rapper.
Let's go, Revolt Summit!
What's going on? What's going on?
What up, what up, what up? What's going on, y'all? Give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah.
What's up, Atlanta? No, this is like our second home.
Yeah. So. We're gonna make ourselves right at home.
How many people have heard of Earn Your Leisure before? Okay.
Yeah, I see the shirts. I see assets over liabilities in the stand. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all our earners. ATL, welcome. It's so good to be in person and actually see the people and see your support. So shout out to all our earners in here right now. Round of applause for yourselves. Yeah, so for those who don't know that, I know there's some people who like, wait, who are these 2 guys that people are clapping for? I'm Troy Millings, and this is my partner, my brother, the co-host of Earn Your Leisure, Rashad Belisle. And Shai, tell them a little about what Earn Your Leisure is for those who are not in the know.
Earn Your Leisure is the biggest ever. The biggest, as a fact, the biggest business platform ever created. And, we did it a little different where we blend culture, we blend sports, we blend music, and of course, fashion. All together in a way that was never really delivered when it came to business and really changed the game for finance, investing, financial literacy. So when we talk about, business empowerment, this is a language that everybody needs to understand. So it's our jobs to make sure that everybody understands it. And that's really been our mission statement since day one.
Yeah, we told them that the swag is sold separately. So we're going to stick to that. That's a fact. Should we wait any longer?
Let's get into it.
Let's get...
Multi-platinum artist, top-selling independent artist, changed the game when it comes to business and independence. And actually, one of my favorite rappers, his album, The Coloring Book, when it came out, I was listening to it, and I don't really listen to a lot of new rappers. I'm very nostalgic from the 90s, 2000 era. But I listened to this album, and I couldn't stop playing it, and I've been playing it ever since. So when I heard that we was going to interview Chance the Rapper, I was actually very excited because I'm a fan first and foremost. I'm not embarrassed to say that. So to see his journey and see his progression has been amazing. So without further ado, put your hands together for Chance the Rapper.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody.
Chance the Rapper.
Look at Latino from 79.
So let's get into it. First and foremost, thank you for joining us, brother. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you, Atlanta. Guess it's not a lot of people from Atlanta here. Thank you, Revolt.
Like one person said something.
One person in Atlanta.
Typical. So let's get into this. Independent. You changed the game for independent artists, and I want to talk about the early stages because you made a conscious effort to put your music out for free, not signed to a major label, and I guess your revenue was on touring, merch, all the ancillary stuff. So coming up, even to this day, most people, their dream is to sign to a major label. Why did you shun major labels, and why did you take the independent route?
I don't know if y'all ever seen The Temptations or The Five Heartbeats or like any movie where somebody is a singer or a rapper and the labels get you. I don't know. I just paid attention to the movies I was watching when I was a kid or just reading the news about artists not getting, their masters or ending up in situations where people stole from them in contracts. And I would say my lack of education around the system of industrial music or industrialized like music industry made me a little bit, I don't know, I didn't want to do it. So I was just nervous, and I think over time I learned more and more about how shady that shit is. And I don't know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but how, just how wacky the music industry was, and I was, kind of turned off by it. And I was lucky and that I didn't know a lot, I guess.
Yeah, was there a point in the beginning, I'm talking before acid rap takes off and becomes a phenomenon, where you almost broke and said, all right, they're offering me something, I'm gonna sign? Was there a moment there?
Oh, absolutely. I was looking for deals. Like you said, everybody that's a rapper, you put together like a EPK, or you play in like, talent showcases where it's like 10 niggas on the bill, everybody gets 8 minutes to rap, and you hope there's a record label scout there. And yeah, I remember there's like a moment in time that most artists go through when their stuff goes a little bit viral, or maybe right before they hit that break, where they go on like a tour of label offices, and you get flown out to New York, and you go to this building, that building, and you go have lunch with this person and that person, and yeah, I went through the whole thing. I was just, like I said, I was just lucky to be a little bit apprehensive about it. I was just kind of like, I didn't know, and so I remember one of the things that they would do was they would send contracts. I had like put this lawyer on retainer so that they could send contracts, and they would just keep sending contracts like every other week, like redlined and different versions of them. And I would have to pay the lawyer to read the contracts that I wasn't gonna sign. And so what I did was I got rid of my attorney at the time, so they couldn't send me any more deals. And I was like, I'm gonna just wait till this mixtape comes out. I was working on this mixtape called Ass Rap, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till April of next year, and then they're gonna have to give me $8 million. That was what I said in my head. And then I ended up dropping the mixtape, and I went on tour, and I made a bunch of money, and I was like, I really just don't need to do this. And I didn't know that there was so many things that I was gonna learn about the industry and how commercialized music and the relationship between the artist and the owner of the masters can be. And luckily, after I learned a lot about it, I was like, phew, you know what I mean? But
I got a lot of detailed questions, but before, because after Coloring Book, I'm assuming a lot of labels, what's the most money that you turned down from a label?
Say that one more time?
What was the most money that you turned down from a label? Like, what was the biggest offer that a label has made you?
Have you ever seen that Dave Chappelle sketch where he's in the barbershop and it comes on the news and it's like, Dave Chappelle turned down $50 million. And everybody's trying to rob his ass? Like, I don't want to do that to myself right now. Like, it doesn't matter. It's going to end up being a headline. I turned down a lot of money, but I would say I definitely made more money in my career than I would have if I had been a signed artist, for sure.
Yeah, so when, obviously, acid rap takes off, but the Coloring Book was a unique situation because it was exclusively on iTunes, right? So how did that process go and you decided, like, this is going to be the streaming service that I'm going with?
So that's a good point. So I put out acid rap on this website that's pretty popular. I hope everybody's heard of SoundCloud. Y'all heard of SoundCloud before? These
are SoundCloud babies.
Yeah, so SoundCloud was kind of new at the time, and I used to put out all my music on SoundCloud because all my music was free. And I didn't have a label, so I could distribute my music however I wanted to. And I'll keep it all on this website, SoundCloud, for free. And that was the beginning of the streaming age. Because at the time in 2013, everybody wanted to download music. You purchased music from iTunes or Amazon, or you bought a physical copy of it. And after acid rap came out, it kind of changed the game in terms of how music was being ingested. And so people basically, when I say people, I mean Apple and Spotify and Tidal started reaching out because they wanted to corner the market on new releases. They wanted to have exclusives. You remember, like, there was a whole bunch of Tidal exclusive albums. Frank Ocean did his album exclusively with Apple Music. There was a streaming war, is what they called it, where everybody was battling over having these free releases and having them exclusively to their platform. And so at the time, Apple had hit me up, and they were the first people to be like, we'll give you credit. You started this shit. And I was like, I like that.
Today's artists and influencers have shown that they are unapologetically living their truth. Tap into the conversation as we explore how they've owned their inner selves to advocate for their craft. I'ma Do Me, sponsored by Frito-Lay.
Miss Kimberly Scott.
Kimberly Scott, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, wow. It's been an incredible day, right? We've had so many wonderful conversations today around entertainment, media, tech. And now I get to be here to share something with you that we at Frito-Lay and PepsiCo are really, really proud of, right? So, I'm gonna take a minute to tell you a little bit about the why behind the project that I'm gonna reveal. We're really on a journey at Frito-Lay and Pepsi to make sure that we're doing the right thing when it relates to our investments and our representation, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, from an advertising perspective, especially as it relates to empowering the Black community and Black creators to bring authentic stories to our audiences. And so we've had the wonderful opportunity to create a project that I'm gonna share with you today that's 100% Black created. From our incredible photographer and director, Kaito, visionary on this spot, from our writer, Nicki L, who put her words to just beautifully storytell, to the creative team at REVOLT that we've been so proud to partner with, and Grammy award-winning and Emmy award-winning narration by her. So we are so excited to be able to share first with the audience here today a campaign that we think really shows what our communities look like. The subtle and simple but very specific joy that fills the moments that we've all grown up with in our communities. So I want to invite you all to take a moment and let's take a chance to go for a walk down the block with a brother and his sister Joy and see what they see. Joyfully Black. Cue the video.
Joy. Joy.
Joy,
Yes, CJ.
come outside. I got something to show you.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
The block. The cornerstone of the Black community. The place where we always have the permission to be our beautiful, authentic selves. Where Black joy flourishes.
Watch out!
I got you. Watch where you throwing that, little man.
You see it in the nod of a head,
What's up, y'all? How you,
to
bro?
the daps from our friends,
Come on.
in the rhythm of our step, and uncontrollable laughter. And when we taste the goodness of recipes shared through generations. The block is a joy-filled collection. It's family, whether blood or not. A beautiful weaving of brothers and sisters with varying talents, dreams, and ambitions.
Queen beats king.
The block is home. This is the place where we are welcome to be our full, confident, soul-filled, unapologetic selves. Joyfully Black. That joy, a gift we give to ourselves each and every day. Celebrating Black joy and all the moments and blocks it fills.
Thank you. You guys enjoy the session. You've got some talented, incredible artists here. They're gonna talk about how they live in their joy, their authentic voices, and how you should be doing the same as you think about that in your everyday life. Thank you.
What up, what up, what up? Thank you. Kimberly, can I get like a little bit more clapping? I know I'm not like a rapper. Because I will rap. Thank you to Kimberly and Frito-Lay for sponsoring the I'ma Do Me panel. Unbelievably happy to be doing this panel, and I'm going to introduce you to our wonderful panelists right now. First up, he was once the king of the teens. But this brother hasn't skipped a beat in his 20s. He is a chart-topping artist, a XXL freshman alumni, and Atlanta's very own Lil Yachty. There he is. What up, Yachty? All right, our next guest has been called the man behind the best wigs in the game by Essence. He's a premier wig stylist who has an influential IG page. Give it up for Alonzo Arnold. Our next guest just recently released a brand new project last month called Break the Bank. She's a former cast member of Love and Hip Hop who's now doing her. Say hello to Big Bank Keisha. And our last guest is a genre-pushing hip hop artist from Portland but lives out in LA right now. Give it up for Aminé. What's up? How y'all doing? Y'all look thrilled to be here, man. What's going on? Hello. What's up? Now, I want to jump right into the whole situation because I think this panel is very important in terms of the youth. Yachty, I know that your thing is all about talking with the youth and giving the youth power. But right now, we're seeing people kind of afraid to be themselves. Individuality seems to be at a premium right now. So what I want to do is I want to start with Keisha and just ask you guys basically, what allows you to move forward in the world and not care what anybody thinks about you, how you look, and what it is that you're doing? What allows you to access your true self and put it out there on display for everybody?
For me, it would be just really like being relatable to people too, and just seeing how many people like run up to you and just, they basing it off of your personality. And I feel like a lot of people like can we cuss on here?
Yeah.
Oh, they fuck with me because of my personality and who I am. So I love being relatable to people and you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, being genuine.
All right, Alonzo?
Well, wait, what was the question again?
What allows you to be you unapologetically?
Because my mama and my daddy and my family, when I was growing up, tried to call me every name in the book. So I don't give a damn what y'all say. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what people say, like the comments and stuff, like on Instagram, whatever. That kind of, you know, doesn't affect me. So I just have this, like, I don't give a attitude. And, you know, I just do what I do, basically. And it works.
Aminé?
I think for me, it's really the music and my family. When I get lost into this like industry as kind of perspective of what the internet is, I think you kind of lose your self-confidence a lot. So a call from my mom and dad to remind me that I'm that nigga is great.
That's what your mama says to you? She say, you that nigga?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yachty, what about you, brother?
I don't know, you know? It's so weird because it would be harder if you asked me, like, how do you follow somebody else? You know, I don't even know how to answer. I just am who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really tried to be nobody else. So it's like, I don't even know how to answer the question to like, what makes you be you?
So let me ask you this way then. I'm sure at certain points in times in your career or whatever you're doing, you've gotten pushback for either things that you've worn, things that you've said, the style that you come out with.
Everything. It's almost everything I do.
Almost everything you do. Okay, cool.
Almost, yeah.
So under that scrutiny, like a lot of people bend, break, and fold, right? So everybody thinks that they're doing it for themselves until somebody tells them that they should be doing it differently. For you, obviously that hasn't happened. You've stayed true to who you are. So what makes you do that? When everybody else is chasing trends, how do you stay true to what it is that you do and who you are?
Like I said, I just am who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I believe in what I believe in. You know what I mean? Like, whether it be the most popular thing or whether it be something that I like, I like what I like. You know what I mean? I think you say individuality is at a premium.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, while that may be like somewhat true, I feel like in today's time, this is like the time that people have been able to be most themselves. You know, I feel like this is when like if you think of any time in cultural history, I feel like now is the most people have been able to have really like came out their shell.
Now you know we didn't come to the A without chopping it up with the longtime staples in the Atlanta hip-hop scene. The A's very own Big Bank, DJ Scream, and Baby Jade. Tune into Big Facts Live, the most unfiltered and unadulterated podcast belonging to our culture today. Sit back and take notes as the biggest Boss Ross gives you facts. No lie. Big Facts Live.
So this Big Facts, man, you know, we like to have real conversation. You know, we definitely going to explore. Of course, you're going to hit us with some facts, but we want to start with turning it around. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a hustler, you ain't got no money, you don't see no way, let's start from the beginning. How would you advise everybody to turn it around?
Well, if I was in a fucked up position or just a position where I got a lot of work to put in, one thing I know I would do is try to find my way to get next to a motherfucker that's in power. I'm gonna try my best to find my way to get next to a motherfucker that's getting money, and I don't know dick riding shit, but just because I know there's certain services I'll be able to provide.
Facts.
Me coming up where I came from, I saw what niggas that was getting money needed or what they felt was necessary. So me being a youngster, I could play whatever role I gotta play for us to get some money. You understand? I'm somebody you could trust. I'm a nigga you could leave it with. I'm whatever. If I'm a youngster, I gotta go put that 93 octane in your shit, bring it back. However, I got you.
I think,
Facts.
but you know what? I think that's like a lot of people's problem today that want to be entrepreneurs. They have too much pride and they're not willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next level.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a difference between pride and ego. Ain't nothing wrong with a nigga having pride. That's a good thing. But don't let it become your worst enemy. Rose, I got a little ego. I'm quick to admit that, but I won't let that stand in between me accomplishing one of my goals or one of my dreams.
Facts.
If I made a mistake, you understand?
What was your first hustle that you can remember? What was your first hustle?
Well, my very first one, I always go back to the car wash. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was 13, got $30 a day from 8 in the morning to 8 p.m. And that's when I just learned to go above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? For the big homies brought their cars in. You know, I'll wash your car while you went in the flea market. They go by Bally's, they go by Clark's, whatever, Gill, whatever it was they was doing shit. I'll put gas in your shit. I'll organize your cassette deck, anything. I got you. So they always wanted the fat boy. They used to call me Heavy Silicone.
From the car wash to the boss. Y'all make some noise for Rick Ross right now at the Revolt Summit. Big shouts out to AT&T.
Hey.
As far as your children are concerned, I know that you're very big on them being self-sufficient and them not depending on you. What are some of the things that you're instilling in them as you go on to learn new ventures so that they can not be scared to jump into fresh territory?
I really think the best thing you could do is actually let them watch you put in the work.
Facts.
That's the best thing you could do is actually let them watch you put in the work. Let them see the long nights. Let them watch from 1 franchise to 10 franchises to 20 franchises.
You just bought your son a Wingstop, right?
Yeah, he really, it was, you know, we already got enough of them in the family, so it was just like, yo.
Yeah, get them bitches away.
Yeah.
I might give my nephew one this year.
Yeah.
And that's the play, just letting them know. Still focus on school. You still in high school. You're an athlete as well. Let's focus on your priorities. But this most definitely is the play for the future. So let's start working on that mindset now. My daughter as well, you know what I mean? They know what it is.
If it's one thing in your career, if you look back on, you wish, I shouldn't have never even did that shit. You got one thing in your career you can say?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really look back and think about changing shit because it may have threw all this off. Nah, I feel like every loss you take really setting you up to be ready for the next play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? Every disagreement we may have had really setting us up for our tomorrows to really get on the same page. That's what they supposed to be for. So if you understand how to really take the L's you done took, that's what I spoke of in my new book I released. You gotta master the art of taking your L's, because climbing to the top, you're gonna take a lot of losses.
Right.
You're gonna shake the dice a lot, and nigga, you're gonna dick a lot of times. That's just how it go. It really don't matter. But you gotta keep going, and if you're gonna win, let's win. And I wanna win big. So it's still a lot of losses I'm gonna take from this day forward. But it's all about making it worth it. You understand? Yeah.
But getting that almost 45,000 square foot estate as your personal home for the price that you got it for, explain to these people that probably, or that may or may not know how big of a deal that is, how major that was at the time that you acquired that.
Well, I used to come to ATL many, many, many years before. And I always would ride by Mr. Holyfield Estate because,
right,
you know, real estate was just something that really
intrigued
held
you.
a place in my heart, straight up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I really did get my money right, I actually bought a crib right around the corner from there. I spent a ticket for it, and I used to just ride by. One particular day I'm riding by and I see a red sign on the gate. Hey, turn around. Give me that number off the gate. Yeah, what's happening? What y'all want for this house? You feel me? It was just really one of those things. And I had heard everything about the crib. Oh, it costs $1 million just to cut the grass. I'm saying to myself, shit, man, my homie's gonna cut the grass, shit. Oh man, they got 17 people that was living here that was taking care. Shit, I'm gonna get 3 real ones. You feel me? And really, that was just my approach, you know, for everything, because I remain hands-on. My homies hands-on. We do everything. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. So when I purchased the crib, I want to say I purchased it for maybe $5.9 million.
He paid like 30 though, right? Holyfield?
He actually spent $25 million billing it. Right.
Where it's at right now? Like where it's at right now?
What's the valuation on it right now?
I had an offer over 2 years ago for $15 million on it that I declined.
Respectfully decline.
I declined. Yeah.
So at your point in your career, we just heard the new record with 21 Savage, Jasmine Sullivan. So you don't have to rap, but what motivates you to still rap and make quality music?
This the love. That's the passion.
Yeah.
That's most definitely the love and the passion. You know what I'm saying? The way I'm getting money right now, my music money may be 7th or 8th on the list, but guess what? It's still number 1 as far as what drives me. But it's also points in your life where it's bigger than money. What makes you feel the richest? Is it when you sitting on the couch with all your kids jumping on you? Or when you eating that spaghetti and fried fish with your mama? You know, that's on you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're definitely gonna go to the audience and get some Q&A going on. So step up to that mic right now. You know how we like to do it on Big Facts. What you wanna ask Rick Ross?
Hey, y'all.
What?
Hi. Okay, this is kind of tough. Okay, so my name's JoJo, co-host of the Big Homie's House, all right? Ross, what's up?
What's happening?
So my question to you is, all right, so there are a lot of hustlers out there. I'm a hustler. By any means necessary, I gotta get it done. Doesn't matter. But my question is, how do you become successful if you don't have a business mentality? You have a hustler's mentality. All you know is to go out and get it, but it has to be some type of structure.
That's good. That's a good one.
So how do you help us?
That's when you got to have that partnership come in. You got to have a partnership. You know what I'm saying? That's something I believe big in is networking. You got to, and once again, you know your strengths and you feel me? I know what I'm strong in and I know what I also need that assistance.
Yeah, you basically, so you saying like get somebody to handle the business and you do the hustling.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You just got to get somebody that you can really trust, somebody that really know. And when it come down to my business, people understand this is life and death with Rose. We can't even play. If you ain't gonna do right, let's not even do it.
Let's talk about the older Ross, man. When you 70 years old, let's put that out there. When you 70 years old, how you think you're gonna be kicking it? What you gonna be on?
Oh man, I'm gonna have a real cute girl pushing me around, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let her know she better make sure my wave's still spinning, you know what I'm saying? Or that's gonna cut her tip down, you know what I'm saying? I wanna see the beach and the sunrise at a certain time. Shit, I gotta be out there at 6:47 a.m., you know what I'm saying? Some rap snacks, some Bel Air. Yeah, ain't shit gonna change. Order some thigh stock. I can see it.
Thank you, AT&T, for partnering with Revolt to bring together culture shifters and thinkers who will continue to build our world. Tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to keep the celebration going with REVOLT Summit, presented by AT&T, a hip-hop homecoming.